Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy. Welcome back. We've already covered 2 Season of the Worthy exotics. It had been disabled, but now it's back. The Hunter's exotic chest piece, Raiju's Harness, which is specifically for mid-tier Archstrider, and then we've also gone through the Warlock's neutral exotic helmet, Felwinter's Helm. At this time, that one is disabled. Both are really good with what you can do with them. There's links below to both those reviews. This one is simple. It's interesting. As always, I'm going to break down everything about it, but for about 2 days I've been paying attention to them. I'm comfortable saying that there's either a bug with them, or something just plainly isn't working correctly. I'm going to go through that, but today, it's the Titan's turn for Season of the Worthy, the exotic gauntlets Citan's Ramparts. This review, I'm going to talk about their application, where it's useful, the drawbacks, and more. It's a neutral exotic, meaning it can be used for any skill tree. The exotic perk is Assault Barricade. You and your allies can shoot through your towering barricade, but it has reduced health and duration. For the review, it's going to be called the Assault Barricade. First things first, the size, duration, the distinct look. Sometimes you can only see half the shield, so there's a way to know if it's the Assault Barricade. The look, it has a ripple effect, a wave effect to it. As for the difference between a regular shield and the Assault Shield from the gauntlets is a tad bit smaller, because the true difference and how you can spot it easily is the outside, because a regular shield has this frost looking effect to it. The Assault Shield doesn't have that. Otherwise, they're the exact same size, same model, but with the outside having that frosty trim removed and the ripple effect added. So at a distance, or say you can only see half the shield or a quarter of it's just sticking out of cover, that's the visual clue to look at for identification. It states it also has reduced health and duration. The regular shield stays up for 20 seconds, the Assault Shield stays up for 10 seconds, so half the time. That's important with your resilience stat. Resilience on the Titan is tied to your barricade cooldown, and on the screen is barricade times. The shield lasts for 10 seconds. On max resilience, tier 10, you would have to wait 4 seconds and then you can pop another one. I've done this, it works well, but you start cutting into other stats if you go max resilience. When you get down to, let's say, 6 resilience, that's twice as long for a cooldown as max resilience. That's gonna be another way to look at it. So on the screen now, if you were just pop the shield, be able to use it for the entire full duration of the shield, that's how much time you're going to be waiting for the next one. So that's kind of how you should be looking at the resilience stat when using this exotic. Later in the review, I'm going to go into if it's worth it or not to go high resilience. The regular barricade has 600 health. This was recently raised from 500, so with the raise to 600, barricades now take extra damage from special ammo weapons, anti-barrier weapons, and certain power weapons. Sniper rifles, grenade launchers, linear fusions, machine guns, trace rifles, and anti-barrier weapons deal 30% more damage to the shield. Fusion rifles and shotguns deal 60% more damage. The health of the Assault Barricade is 400, and we know this because a high impact hand cannon does 50 per shot. On the 8th shot, it deals 51 to break it, so 401 total damage. If you were to land 7 straight hand cannon shots for 350 damage, then a 140 RPM shot for 47 damage, the barrier is still up, so 400 it is. Things like Revoker, just when you thought it was perfect for PvP, it just goes that little extra mile, because when you hit the barrier with the sniper, it crits yellow numbers for over 200 damage, and with Revoker, Reversal of Fortune procs, so you get the bullet back. You can then shoot it again, it's down. High impact snipers, 2-shot the Assault Barricade, but remember that with Revoker as well, if you just see a regular 600 health towering barricade, you can just shoot the shot, wait for it to refund, shoot the shot, and so on. So when you're playing against an Assault Shield, no, it has 400 health. If you have a Revoker, you can take one out with ease. Shoot the shot, wait for the refund, take it out. Fusions and shotguns, pretty much one-shot it. A Yotun shot will down it easily. It's gonna leave a little burn spot. In something like a trial setting and you see the shield, focus it down if you can. Most of the time, you can create angles on it just to hit the shield and keep you away from the enemy behind it. Because remember, the user of the Assault Shield is gonna be behind it looking for shots until you break it. So now let's get into the application. Find a purpose, maybe a couple of them. Remember, when you throw a barricade, you get small damage reduction as well. This is gonna help when using the shield, because you can throw it in a doorway, knee slide around cover, pop it right as someone's rushing you. And if you're taking shots, you're gonna take some damage. It's kind of like chip damage. But once the shield is up, you start having the upper hand. It has 400 health. You're a nightmare versus double primary users, ones that are using hand cannon, SMG, scout sidearm, because they're gonna need to do the full 400 damage to it. You have to think in a game of TTKs, when you look at the broad scope of this exotic, what's happening, being able to shoot and not get touched goes a long way, even if it's just for a second or two, even a split second, because that's gonna be in your favor. All that time is in your favor. Here's the deal though. Beware of this exotic. I had this review done a couple days ago. I decided to keep using it and testing it because I kept finding inconsistencies. In a custom game setting, it works flawless, but in-game, in quick play trials, any game mode, I found that there's a bug. There could be a number of things that could be going on with it. It's only for certain things though when using certain weapons, and that's why it's so important to know. When you're behind the shield, you either get accuracy penalties or the shield is eating your shots. In the background footage, it has an opening shot hand cannon, there's the raid pulse, there's the Redrix, there's more weapons. Because when using certain weapons, it's either placing an aim assist or accuracy penalty on you, the user, the one behind the shield, or the shots are actually hitting and eating your own shield, which shouldn't be happening. So it's a bug, it's not working like it should. And I try to be diligent about these things. I try to find the causes, and I just won't say, oh, there's something bugged, there's something wrong. Like, it has to be something really wrong with it. Wouldn't say anything unless I can prove it wrong. But I do believe many of you out there have felt this too. And I was looking through everything. After a match, when you check the damage scores and you're using the Assault Barricade, you have massive damage numbers, 10k, 20k, 30k. The damage the shield takes, I think, is counting and ramping up that damage number, but the shield could also be eating your shots, amping up that damage number, but not degrading it at all. There are multiple scenarios of what could be going on, and I can't put a finger on exactly what it is, but there is something wrong. Because I've taken great shots, the shots feel great, have 0 hit registration. However, if you're using a sniper, I haven't had any of these issues. It's pretty much flawless when using a sniper rifle. I also haven't had any issues with using a fusion or a shotgun when players are rushing me. Because when using a sniper like Revoke or Beloved, the shots are crisp, they're doing what they should do, hitting the target. So something to take away at this current time, it's going to be best used for sniping and used to throw down in front of you when players are rushing you and you have a shotgun or a fusion, because otherwise, if you pop the shield and are looking into a doorway and you have a thorn out or a scout, I don't recommend it. It's frustrating at times. I tried various different weapons, various distances, because at first I thought maybe the barrel of the weapon is inside the shield, so I would step back. Like, no matter what, it's happening with certain weapons. And that's just main primary weapons: scout, AR, hand cannon, sidearm. So here's some of my personal takes. I really do like this as a neutral exotic, but I hate the idea of an exotic having to be dependent on what your enemy has. And when I say that, Phil Winter's Helm doesn't care. Stompies, Ophidians, Dune Marchers, Astrocyte, Heart of Inmost Light, Helm of Sate 14, Raiju's Harness, you get it, they don't care. They don't care what your enemy's using, because they're making you better. When I'm using other exotics, they have a goal in mind with them, they're enhancing the way I play, but with the Ramparts, they're susceptible to special ammo. Its duration is half of a regular shield, so they could be really good, but it can also get smoked immediately, so that puts pressure on you relying on your resilience stat. It's coupled with the fact that it doesn't work well with regular weapons. And again, at this time, I would use this shield to snipe with, or in CQC choke points with a shotgun or a fusion, but when you think about it, here are the times again on screen. If you pop the shield at max resilience, it has a 14-second cooldown. Say the shield gets smoked, that's not too bad because you wait another 14 seconds, or maybe you got some use, maybe you only have to wait 10 seconds. But say you're running 5 resilience, you're gonna pop it, if it gets smoked immediately, you're gonna have to wait 30 seconds. And it's only a 10-second shield, so the lower your resilience, the longer you're gonna wait. At this time, I would shoot for at least 7 resilience. If you can swing it, go as high as you can, even up to tier 10, and I normally wouldn't ever recommend that, but with how it's working and how it's susceptible to special ammo, the way you have to play it, you pretty much have to commit to it. Because you're running this over Dune Marchers, you're running it over the Antaeus wards, and the wards are arguably like the best exotic in the game right now for PvP. It's a true neutral exotic, it's active in pretty much every single gunfight that you get into. So you keep that in the back of your mind, knowing that you only have, let's say, 5 resilience, or maybe even have 6 or 7, and you pop that shield and it gets smoked, you're not gonna get that much use out of it. You might as well run the Antaeus wards. You might as well put on the Dune Marchers. You're gonna get use out of those. I love the idea of this exotic. It's balanced in the sense that it can get smoked pretty easily by special ammo because you're able to shoot through a shield and they can't harm you. But with most weapons in the game, you aren't very accurate. It's not working properly. And it's, like I said, only if you snipe. Like, I've had really good Trials clutch rounds. Like, we know how Cauldron's being played. We'd open up doors, they'd open up doors, I put the shield up, and I'm running a high tier 10 resilience stat. And this works very well with snipers. So I would throw up the shield, it lasts for 10 seconds. Everybody's being kind of passive because we don't want to rush into 3 snipers. They don't want to rush into mid-room. So I would wait the full 10 seconds. I would only have to wait 4 seconds, then pop another shield and wait for another 10. Like, it works very well in certain scenarios. You can apply it to do good things with it, but that's with fully committing. Main things to take away: what it looks like, how much health it has, the duration, and at this current time, I would only use it with sniping and like the arbalist. Otherwise, when you use it with primary weapons, it just doesn't feel good at all. As for PvE, like as you get up into higher content, I noticed that it just gets obliterated. Like if an ogre gets on this shield, it's not gonna matter. And at that point, you're taking away from the Helmets 814 helmet and various different other exotics that are probably gonna be best used. I'm not saying that there isn't a situation where you could be in the back with sniper rifles, and let's say you're in a damage phase and there's some very annoying vandals across the map that are taking shots at you. You could throw up the shield to eat some of those shots as you're doing a damage phase. So it could work, and it will work well in certain scenarios, but just know when to put them on. As for me, I'm currently going to be using them in trials with passive maps like a Widow's Court, as we saw, with Cauldron, as we saw, with a max resilience stat. That way I can get the shield, use it for the entire 10 seconds. It's going to go away. I wait 4 seconds, can use it again, because getting a pick with a sniper rifle is very important in trials, and this exotic can shine there. There's been many times where players come right in front of me and I take some damage. I can pop the shield to kind of ward off damage and then play around my shield, getting damage into them if my shots actually register. When it does, feels good, man. At this time, again, those were my recommendations for current use as far as sniping, CQC, things like that. If you're finding success using, let's say, a scout or a pulse rifle, then go right ahead. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. I would like to know your experience with these exotic gauntlets for the Titan. Do you find them very useful? Did you find those inaccuracies that I was getting? Let's talk about it down below. And again, ring the bell to get videos right when they go live. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.